Ugly babies. What up? Alright, so hopefully YouTube don't kill my shit for using some of that King ISO. I was just I figured maybe we'll start the show now with just a little snippet, some music. And any of my rapper homies or my artists, Curtis Lee, fucking AV, Beto, Dickles, shoot me your links, man. I'll play y'all at the start. It's all love on the Jesse Show. All my ugly babies, I'm glad you're here to witness and talk. Myself, I've been sick as fuck. It ain't the Rona. Got some stomach issues going on with the kid. It's all ugly and it's all bad. But I'm alive. So, um, let's dig in. Let's dig in. I've just been being a lazy fuck and dying. But I promised last night that I would, have a show out for you today. So I feel like I'm obligated, I mean, you want to get good at something, do that shit. I want to get good at doing some squats. Squatted a whole fucking bunch. Then a respectable squat for a chubby old man, for a little 465. Want to get good at running, so I ran a marathon. So I want to get good at podcasting, so I'm talking that shit. All right, so I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be here. So I put a post on my social media that only my son replied to, so I feel like a fucking loser. It was just like, what do you guys want to talk about? What would you like to be addressed? What are we digging into? My son asked about my childhood, so I feel like if you guys go to Brett Scott's initial interviews, but been it has like a ton of views, but so my childhood was like, man, I grew up in Walla Walla, and they built here's the prison, here's the rest of the city, and here's a highway that circumvents that bad boy. And they tried to like cut off that whole sides by the prison and make it like the poor side of town. And so my father, being a very industrious person, he's a psycho, but he's industrious. Uh, he took a loan for 20 grand and got himself a 3-story, 5-bedroom house with a den and a parlor and a full basement for 20 G's back in the 80s. That was a come up. My dad had a lot of fucking kids. My parents were doing some fucking in the 80s, bro. Uh, anyway, so a lot of my neighbors were some worked the fields, some of them worked at the canneries that were there. Real good people, man. So that's why I always have a lot of respect for people that descent, not just based on their skin color, because there's pieces of shit in every there's shitty white people, shitty black people, shitty, you get another, the bag. But I'm close to that culture, um, and so, but along with that culture comes some of that Sorreno, Norteño, 18th Street, 13th Street, back to back attacks kind of stuff, or at least where I grew up at. And so I got to experience some of that. And then I experienced a lot of drug activity at a young age, a little bit of violence, a little bit of abuse here and there. So but I ain't trying to cry no. I need no rivers cried for me. Everything I went through ever in my life has made me the man I am today. Made me stronger, made me harder, made me smarter. Some have fucked me up beyond repair, but that's okay, cause you know what? It's like a bike I had when I was 8 years old. Okay, it was a woman's 3-speed, one of them big old bitches with like 42-inch fucking tires, and and it consistently had flat tires because where we lived there was these, I don't know what y'all call them, we call them goat heads. Okay, under the underpass there was an infestation of goat heads, and I'd ride right through those bitches not knowing any better, being 7, 8 years old, home homeschooled, if you will. I spent about an hour a day. That's why I speak so eloquently. Watch a lot of PBS. One cocksucker. You know, the count. We got down with him, and then did some little workbooks. And yeah, something you should know about my parents is kind of crazy. Actually, talking about my childhood is kind of funny. So my parents are super religious, man. God bless them, right? Not knocking them, but you ever heard of the Plymouth Brethren? Yeah, you should Google them weirdos. My dad got ingrained, and they're like, that's like super literal Bible shit. Like, shouldn't hang out with people that aren't. Hold on. Let me rephrase this. The women are always supposed to wear dresses. The men should be wearing slacks. Yeah, hang out with people that are not part of this group of chosen people. Very, very culty. I remember one time my dad, I wasn't at this particular church meeting because I've always kind of been a piece of shit and didn't really go with the flow from the gate. So, my dad comes home and says, I ain't never going back to that church. Can't believe that man tried to stand up in front of me and stop me from exiting. And so that was a focal point. My dad likes to join these small churches, and because he feels like then he'll have a lot of input, and then he'll get his feelings hurt when somebody doesn't agree with him exactly. My dad, he's experiencing some senility now, so it's kind of sad, but yeah, my dad, he'll beat that ass, and he's a badass guitar player. Um, and he's really religious, and he has lost a lot of his faculties, but as much resentment as I've ever had from my dad, I love him, and he did the best he could with the tools at hand. He was a substance abuse counselor. A lot of people that later on in life I interacted with on a street level told me that my dad helped them get off of XYZ drug, and it fucking changed their lives. Or I'd be kicking it with their kids on that level, and they'd be like, yeah, your dad helped me, fucking kick the fucking tar or whatever, shit like that. And so I do have some resentments from my father, like any fucked up individual would. But at the end of the day, I think that my dad really had his heart in the right place, and being a father with a lot of kids myself now, I kind of have come to understand a little bit of the stresses that I didn't understand as a kid, where I just thought my dad was just mean. Is like, and don't get me wrong, my dad is fucking done some fucking crazy shit. Like, I fucking got my ass whooped for some dumb shit. So but let me not shit talk my dad. I'm just saying he's got some explosive tendencies, such as myself. And I understand now that holding down a family is a lot of stress, and not all of us handle stress well. My dad being that such type person, and myself, especially when you get into like these social services type of jobs, it puts a whole new kind of spin on things, man. You know, in the job that I have, I diligently try to serve a caseload of individuals that really need help, and it makes it easy to put your own problems on the back burner, and it's like you've been dealing with everybody's shit all week. I mean, you care about them, you're compassionate, you genuinely give a fuck, right? But then it's like, I got family members that fit in that same boat, and I want to help them too, but I'm just exhausted, and knowing your limits and being able to say yes and say no is a huge part of taking on what you can. So I asked everybody what their fucking favorite dinosaur was. Not one of you punks fucking commented. So I'll just talk about what my favorite dinosaur is for about 35 minutes. Nah, just kidding. Probably like it. Probably fill about 40 seconds. Velociraptor is my favorite one, but I was okay. So my girl has this little drawing book, right? And it had all these dinosaurs in it. And if you know me, you know I'm a tattoo getting motherfucker. So I seen this Tyrannosaurus, and and my partner Zach at Eternal Love, Zach Harris. He's a dope tattoo artist. If you want to get that ink, get at my boy. Hit me up on my social media. Oh, speaking of which, I made a new Instagram page for specifically for this show. It's called the underscore Jesse underscore show because my personal account is a little convoluted and hard to find because I have it's Cole with a K, but it's like whatever. I'm gonna keep that as my personal account and just make this one more for the show. It's kind of I think that's better. I think that's more professional and appropriate. Not that anything I'm ever gonna say on the show is gonna be professional or appropriate, but back to the dinosaurs. Back to the dinos. Jurassic Park, bitch. So I've seen this Tyrannosaurus, and so my forearm right here, I think might be adoring. I like a Tyrannosaurus. What's that? I can't remember his name, but you know, off that last one, that bitch they made that could like turn invisible and like, you know, the Velociraptors and the Tyrannosaurus had to like team up to beat him, and then the Allosaurus jumped out of the water and bit him and shit. I want that punk on my arm, I think. So yeah, so this summer's been pretty wild, man. Um, so anybody that knows me well knows that I have always been afraid of heights. Like I could have been a badass framer, but I can't really walk the walls because I get all wobbly and scary and shit. Um, so I jumped out of an airplane with my best friend and my wife Kimberly. Kimberly, this is her second go at it, and she was like, "Yeah, we're going." She's excited. I was like, "This is fucked up. I do not want to do this. I'm not feeling it, bro." Uh, but I went, and you kind of feel like a superhero for like 40 seconds. You know, like I jumped out, and I was just like, "Oh, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." Like the first time you're getting a blowjob where you're like, I don't know what to do with my hands. But then I was like, man, I'm not gonna we spent like a couple $100 on this shit. I'm not gonna be a bitch the whole time. So then you just kind of tuck in and you're like, ah, right? And you know, you own it and you really like just feel like a superhero for like about a minute, 40 seconds, just getting it, dive bombing to the earth. And then all of a sudden, that dude pulls the cord and then you're just having this little conversation with some dude you don't really know. But the day before I went to skydiving, I decided I was gonna get this big humongous tattoo across my whole damn back, and the guy was when we landed, he's like, "What's up with your ink, man?" It's like, did you like grease up before we went? Because you know you have to put aftercare on your tattoo. I guess this is gonna be for the YouTube fam. I'll just show y'all my Hold up, let me get it the right angle. I got that punk, and it was still covered in ink. When my boy, he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "You just got that yesterday." I was like, "Yeah," and so that was a fun bit. That was probably the coolest thing from the summer, man. Oh shit, let's talk about old Donald Trump real quick. This motherfucker. Okay, I'm gonna say this about politics. I am what I label myself as hyper moderate. Okay, so I take things piece by piece, one by one, as they come. Each topic, I toe no lines. I don't want. I'm not gonna say, oh, the Democrats want this, so I'm gonna ride with them because I'm a Democrat, or the Republicans want this because they're Republicans. Like I'm not jumping on no Trump train, and I don't even like Joe Biden, and I don't really care for any of these people, to be honest, man. But Trump made some funny shit ass jokes at that debate about Joe Biden's big old dumb mask, right? Guess who got COVID, baby? I read that on the article this morning that yeah, old Trump got himself some COVID going. So man, that's rough, baby boy. He said some. I read further. Sorry, I got some shit on my lip. We gotta clean that up. I read further that he's at some military base and he only is experiencing mild symptoms and will be conducting business from there. But you know what's funny though? Y'all remember the old boy said he's never had a cold in his life? He fucked around, caught the first fucking worst cold ever, homeboy. Damn. So that's that with my guy, Donald Trump. I don't know my guy, but whatever. The president. So there's that. What else do we got going on? Shia LaBeouf put his hands on somebody and stole their hat. My long lost brother counterpart, Brett Scott, is constantly trying to sell me on how cool of a human Shia LaBeouf is, and he's starting to win me over. I ain't gonna lie. I was having a hard time because it's like he's a child star, and then he got like started doing all this like little petty crime shit, you know. And it's like, man, don't you have like a fucking $bazillion, bro? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna say this about it. I like Shia LaBeouf. I watched a couple interviews now. He's starting to win me over. But this motherfucker ever tried to take my hat, Shia LaBeouf will be spitting out some motherfucking teeth. I don't care how many tattoos you got, homeboy, how much authentication in your roles you have, bruh. You didn't grow up like me, homeboy. You're gonna have a motherfucking problem. But I would like to meet him. Seems interesting. Yeah, so this COVID thing, I think everybody's gonna catch COVID at some point. I think it's just gonna be like the flu, you know. Hopefully it doesn't kill too many more people. That sucks that they were like talking about 200,000 people died. Like that's a lot of fuckers to be passing away. But man, I don't know. They're gonna get that vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'll probably let them hit me with that sucker and c'est la vie. I don't know. I think the best thing we can do for ourselves as a people, as a species, is just be the healthiest we can. You know. I know some of my listeners might be vegan. You might be a carnivore, keto. You might just say fuck it, fucking 7 days a week and get that Big Mac. We all like that Big Mac every now and then. I know some of my hardcore vegan homies are like, yeah, I'll never eat. Go chew that Impossible Burger, the Impossible Whopper, whatever. If you don't like a cheeseburger, they're kicking you out of America. Okay, so my ugly babies. What do we got left? Nancy Pelosi talking shit, saying that the checks are gonna be the next round of checks or whatever is gonna slow down because Donald Trump got COVID. Like, man, they gave us that first check. That shit was like 6 months ago, man. So where's? Well, we only need $1,200 every 6 months. I don't know what you living on, bro. Fucking, you must have a stockpile of some top ramen in pantry. And it's really weird, this moratorium that they put on evictions. I mean, right, understandable. We're in an economic crisis, and I'm not mad at that. And they federally mandated that out further, I believe, until the start of next year or something. It's like, man, I think the October, like right now, is like when the Washington State one is supposed to be up. But I was just thinking, like, if they they picked a real shit ass time to end that motherfucker. Like, oh, now it's rainy and shitty and cold as fuck. Now you should be sleeping outside. Like, I don't know, can we wait till spring or something? Like, I mean, but I also side with the landlords on this because they're just getting the fucking, you know, that a lot of them, that's how they live, is they get that rent money. And without that they don't have shit. So what's a fella to do? I think these stimuli checks might need to be more often. They need to continue with that unemployment, a little extra extra. I think that, like, I like the Libertarian Party, but they're like, fuck that. If you didn't make it, you die. Republicans are kind of the same way, but they're becoming way more liberal because they're just moving with the times and they don't want to fucking, dig their heels in until they're out of existence. And then I feel like the Democrats kind of just over pushing all the hyper liberal stuff a little bit. And man, so whatever all these fucking idiots need to do to come together to support people during this pandemic, man, that'd be that hitter. But like I was saying, like the best thing we can do is eat healthy, have antioxidants, eat real fucking food, whether it be vegetables or steak or whatever the fuck drives your fucking cat, whatever pushes your wagon, do that. But eating these bullshit ass foods and smoking cigarettes and not ever going for a walk or a run or exercising or having sex that lasts longer than 3 minutes. We gotta take care of ourselves. If you like, and I don't know about all this shelter in place and what have you, but I think if you are a person that's highly susceptible to this COVID, that you should probably keep your ass inside. Yeah, I'd vote for that. I mean, I don't know what other counties are doing, but I know that Grace Harbor, we got it set up as to where if you've been exposed to COVID, we can directly serve you with, bring you food in a safe way for everybody involved. Um, most counties and states got isolation sites that are available if you've been exposed. So whatever you need to be responsible and you need to help others to not get fucked up. It's like if you got COVID, it's like having and you're just gonna try and tough it out. It's like having a pit bull, bites the fuck out of people and just like, nah, fuck it, go play in the backyard. Go ahead, Bowser, get him. So, I don't know how I got in this whole COVID trip. Oh, so I was talking about fucking old Trumpy pants. But and also it's kind of fucking weird how many people are just so happy this motherfucker got COVID. It's like, yeah, man, like, would you be happy if you got cancer or AIDS, you fucking assholes? Like, Christ almighty. Like, I don't know. I've had, like, some fucking stomach bug for, like, a week, and people who hate me are happy. Fuck you, man. It's not kind. Like, I think that if the world was just kind and altruistic and we'd stop worrying about these divisive lines of political parties and just did what's best for, like, the species as a whole, I think that might be the thing. That's where I'm at with it anyway. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're lefty, righty, libertarian. Get your, like, I'm like, do whatever the fuck you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, pretty much. Like, wasn't it Portugal, right? They legalized all them drugs, and except for importing and exporting, they kept that illegal, and any money made from arrests from that goes to treatment centers. I know that Portugal is about the size of Washington State, but why don't we try that like a little pilot project? Like, I mean, I know I'm sure Washington's population would increase tenfold, but like, I think that might be cool, and that's coming from somebody that has been clean and sober for 5.5 years. Like, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke weed, I don't drink, I don't do none of that shit because it fucking dramatically damaged my life. But I feel like if it wasn't this subculture that made me such a cool person when I was the guy with the bag of dope selling dope, it would just be a non thing. I would have been able to focus my energies onto other ventures, because that was the easy thing for me to be, was a drug dealer, because I knew people that had big bags of drugs that would give me some of them to go sell, and I'd be the guy with the medium-sized bag of drugs that knew everybody else. So it's like, if that was like not a thing, it's like, oh yeah, dude, you just go down to the clinic and you get your fucking shot, or yeah, they go give you your fucking little baggie of dope. You just go over there and tell them you're sick. Like, Like I know there's like a medicated assistant treatment, but it ain't really the same thing. The methadone program it works, but only if you work it and you have an intent to get off of it, you know. But if it's like drugs were never cool, were never thought of as cool, if they were just looked at as a social disease from the start, and that's what they were taught, they're teaching kids in school. Maybe we could circumvent some of this opioid crisis. We could like, man, like one of my best friends, fucking Joshua Taylor, um, he died, man, from an overdose of opiates, and you know, it's just it's everybody thinks it's a fucking game and a political joke and this, that, and the next until it fucking hits home, right? Like, oh, haha, Trump has COVID. What about when your fucking grandpa gets COVID? You gonna laugh then, you little bitch? Probably not. I mean, I don't even personally care for Trump. Like, he could die today. It wouldn't really affect me in any way. You know, I wouldn't be emotionally attached to that at all. But I just think that as humans, we need to, you know, just be a little more altruistic and kind. And yeah, with that, I think that you know, we have room for growth with some human beings. All of us do, especially myself. You know, myself included. But thinking the thoughts of what can make you better, I think is the start. That's the fulcrum that moves that boulder being your actions. Me and my wife were listening to these so book about stoicism last night, and if you say he's a stoic individual, you'll think of this hard faced like uh, veteran, war veteran or Navy SEAL or something hard like that. But stoicism is actually, I learned last night, it's mostly about taking life on its own terms, which is actually like a recovery principle. That like I'm not gonna put any associations out there because it's anonymous things, but you know, you just take life as it comes, and you don't get over emotional about it, and you try to be part of a system. You know, it's like everybody wants to. If you hate the system and you feel there's systemic racism, you feel that there's this, that, and the next. Become part of that system and change it from within. Right? That's my thoughts on it. Like I'm really, you know, I mean, I'm just a case manager or whatever, but I'm in the system and I'm doing something to benefit people and um of all creeds, races, sexual identity. I don't give a fuck. I got friends of all those things as well that I enjoy very much, and you know, I like weird motherfuckers. So if you're weird, I hope that you found this podcast is something you can attach to and hang out with. You know, if I could just be your little buddy, you can bump for a little 20 minutes. Um, you know, cause you know, despite race and ethnicity and sexual identity, you do matter. You, the world needs you. Um, yeah, it's also, I didn't think about it until right now. It's National Recovery Month, so all my fellow drug addicts and all my fellow mental health people, all my fellow mentally ill individuals, you know, this is our time to shine, baby. Let's celebrate our issues and overcome them and stand tall and stand proud in that. Because I think that you know, we need to show people that we're bigger than the diagnosis. We need to let people understand that, you know, us drug addicts, we got fucking superpowers. Motherfuckers don't know about. We're so resourceful. We've done things that that a normal person wouldn't do to get to a means that most people wouldn't even want. So, you know, when we take that energy to another level for something that's beneficial not only for ourselves but for our community, we're blessed with a certain ability to give so much more and so much harder. And yeah, that's what I'm about, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I invite y'all to have that same energy with me. Okay, so I'm coming up on about 30 minutes, and I think I'm gonna leave it right there, man. So I'll check in with you in a couple days. Love and respect as always. I'll see you next time, my ugly babies. Be safe.